Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about a diet that is supposed to help a health claim. The diet I'll be talking about today is the Atkins diet for coronary artery disease. So, first, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Atkins diet. So, the Atkins diet is a low carbohydrate eating plan that was developed in the 1960s by a cardiologist by the name of Robert C. Atkins. So, the Atkins diet goes and restricts carbohydrates while focusing more on higher based proteins and fats. And the purpose of this diet is to help those lose weight and to lose weight fast. And it's also supposed to help keep the weight off as long as possible. And there's even claims that it can help lead to a healthier heart. Now I'm going to be talking about coronary artery disease. So, coronary artery disease occurs when the coronary arteries, which are the main supply of blood to the heart, become narrowed or blocked by a bunch of plaque that starts to build up. And some of these risk factors include people that have high LDL cholesterol, those that have high blood pressure, individuals that smoke, individuals that are obese, and even those that have diabetes. Now, coronary artery disease is more common in people in their 40s and above. However, recent studies have shown that coronary artery disease is starting to become more common in as young as teenage years. Okay, now I'm going to be discussing the book I chose to go along with this diet. So, the book is actually written by Robert C. Atkins, and the book title is The Diet Revolution. So this book was first published in 1972, and then it went on to have a few revisions. The first major revision was in 1992, and then he went on to revise the book again in 1999 and 2002. The audience of this book seeks more towards adults trying to lose weight and to lose weight fast, and it's typically middle-aged adults, also those that are maybe overweight and are looking to create a meal plan to help lose weight. Also, as I did research, I found that this book and this diet was endorsed by many different celebrities, some including Sharon Osbourne and Rob Lowe. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about the key claims from this book. So the first key claim is that this diet is supposed to help you lose weight and to lose weight really fast. He also makes claims in the book that the weight loss you will have will not cause hunger. It also can help improve heart health. He claims that it may reverse or improve chronic diseases. He also goes in to talk about claims against the dietary guidelines for Americans, and he claims the book is scientifically backed and a sustainable lifestyle, but recent studies and other people have gone out and against this book and have said that he doesn't have enough scientific evidence to base this diet, and also they believe it is not a sustainable lifestyle. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Dr. Robert C. Atkins. So, like I said before, Dr. Robert C. Atkins is a cardiologist, and he first graduated from the University of Michigan in 1951, and then he went on to Cornell University Medical School, where he received his medical degree in 1955. And then in 1989, Atkins founded the Complementary Formulations, which he later on went to rename it to Atkins Nutritional in 1998. Like I said in the previous slide, Atkins receives a lot of criticism for not having a strong scientific background. That's why people believe this diet is not scientifically proven. Now we're going to discuss the purpose and the goals the Atkins diet claims to make. So some claims it says it can reverse obesity, improve multiple different heart diseases and chronic diseases, and it can help improve diabetes. Now, the goals he highlights in this book are you lose weight fast and you're going to burn fat instead of carbs for a healthier energy. Some promises he also makes in this book are long-term health improvements, reduction of hunger, and a high-calorie way to stay thin forever. This was referenced in the book multiple times. Recommendations and nutritional soundness. So some of the recommendations I found were it drastically limits carbohydrate intake, focuses more on a higher protein and fat foods, and he also explains that this diet is structured into 4 different phases. So the first phase is the introduction phase, where you're starting to get into the diet and you're starting to limit certain things you've been eating before. And then the second phase is the balancing diet, where you're starting to get a hold of this diet and like learning how to balance out different things in your health. And then the fine tuning phase is step 3. And then the final phase is lifetime maintenance. Now we're going to be talking about some nutritional soundness claims. Dr. Atkins claims weight loss, an increase of energy, and improvement in heart health while doing the Atkins diet. Now, some criticisms I found through this book from different peer-reviewed journals was it causes nutrient deficiencies, which because you're reducing certain foods in your everyday diet, and if you reduce some of these foods, it can actually cause a decrease in essential vitamins that your body needs. Now, a lot of people talk about sustainability. People do not find this diet sustainable at all because you're still going to have those constant cravings. There's a possibility if you get off of this diet that you can have weight regain, and some studies have found that people have gained eating disorders through this diet. Long-term effects. So some of these long-term effects are you can regain the weight you previously lost. And unfortunately, when you regain that weight, if you are a person that has a disease such as coronary artery disease, this weight regain can actually cause more problems to the heart. Side effects. Some of the side effects included fatigue, headaches, constipation, and mood shifting. While researching this topic, I found multiple different peer-reviewed journals through multiple different scientists, doctors, college students, stuff like that, because people believe this diet is not good especially for diseases such as this one. So the first peer-reviewed journal I found was about elevations linked to certain diets about elevations linked to cardiovascular risk. And in this first peer-reviewed journal, I learned that people talked a lot about it may improve symptoms temporarily. However, it can raise LDL cholesterol levels, which are also then traced back to the plaque buildup within the heart. Dr. Atkins also claims the Atkins diets can reverse coronary artery disease. However, this journal has found people that did this diet actually ended up having an increase in their coronary artery disease symptoms. The second peer review journal I found was Frontiers Nutrition Umbrella Review. This one talks a lot about an increase in fat intake can lead to a rise in serum cholesterol, and Umbrella also believes a lack of certain nutrients can end up leading to a higher risk of CAD, which also, if you're starting to remove some of these nutrient deficient foods your body needs, it can start lacking the essential vitamins all people need. The third peer review journal I found was the LCHF diet linked to twice the risk of cardiovascular events. This peer-reviewed journal talks a lot about Dr. Atkins' book, and they're going against his claims. So one of the points I found was Dr. Atkins claims the diet reverses the plaque buildup. However, this article showed people from studies they performed that the diet did not end up helping the plaque go away, it actually ended up causing more plaque buildup. Book claims. Dr. Atkins' book, Diet Revolution, the 1972 version, and then the new Diet Revolution, which was created in 1992 and 2002. It makes strong claims about rapid weight loss, claims people can lose up to 15 pounds in 2 weeks, and claims permanent fat. A quote I found from the new Diet Revolution that I found to be very skeptical and not true or promising was he said, people who follow the induction phase typically lose between 6 and 15 pounds in the first 14 days. And he's saying it's not water weight, it's fat. My personal reflection is I would personally never try this diet because I don't think it's healthy to lose 6 to 15 pounds within 14 days. That's typically not how weight loss works, and if you can lose weight that fast, I don't find it to be healthy. Also, I would not recommend this diet to a person that does have coronary artery disease. One, because as different studies have found, it increased the plaque buildup in the heart. Also, the long-term side effects have not been very well proven. People have reported an increase in their plaque buildup and actually could not keep the weight off as long as they were hoping. Also, when you go in and restrict foods like fruits, whole grains, vegetables, it can lead to a decrease in nutrient intake, and I don't personally think that's ever a good thing. Also, studies have found that high fat intake can also go in and raise LDL cholesterol levels. My final critique. I give this book a thumbs down and the claims due to even knowing it has great sounding effects in the short term because there is no long-term effects that have been reported that well. I think the Atkins diet is high in saturated fats, it lacks balance, and restricts essential foods that meet nutrient needs. I would not recommend this diet for those that have coronary artery disease due to because it can make things worse. And these are my references for this project. Thank you.